Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heike and you're watching stonecoldcoffeecrafts. Lola, the furry ragdoll cat assistant, is currently taking a nap, so it might take her a minute or two to realize that I'm filming. But I have full trust in her ability to show up sooner rather than later. Okay, today, at least when you are seeing this, it is Tuesday, June the 29th, and it is time for my second Flosstube video of the month. I've talked about this on my last Flosstube video, which did not exactly go up on the 15th because I did a dumb, but I talked about wanting to go back to this bi-monthly Flosstube rotation and trying to post whenever possible the videos on the 15th and the 29th because this fits my stitch-alongs the best, and we all know by now this year I'm stitching all the stitch-alongs and nothing else. So yeah, since my last video I had 3 pattern drops which I have worked on in the meantime, and those are the 3 I'm going to show you. First up is the Animal Crossing stitch along by Cunning Cross Stitch, Stuart Cunningham. He provides usually 1 year-long free stitch along. This year it's 2. So Animal Crossing, I think I can't remember if the Magical Kingdom was the one he had planned or if Animal Crossing was the one that was planned, but I would assume that the Kingdom one was the planned one, because Animal Crossing was this huge surprise success of 2020 because of many reasons. And I don't think he had this planned out for a long time. But we had our June drop, and June was, the English names of these are Flick and CJ, I think. So the little bug guy and the fish dude. And that's what they look close up. Again, a poop ton of fractional stitches. This is what makes this stitch along so hard to do. It is actually not hard to do, but imagine the situation. This dropped on the 15th and I didn't touch it until this Saturday because I had this mental block of, ugh, I don't want to do all these fractional stitches again. So I did all my stitch-alongs this weekend, just Saturday and Sunday. I put in a huge stitching marathon, and I did not exactly time how long things took me, but I pretty much started on this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I finished roughly 7:15, I think. So this took me about 4 hours to do, which is not a lot, but for some reason I seem to have this mental block of I don't want to do all these fractional stitches. It also gets worse the smaller the occupants of the little blocks are, of course, because yeah, that's just how it works. So this was June, and I believe that July is going to be in the middle. I should have looked this up, but again, I'm really bad at looking this up. So like I said, this pattern is free, completely free. There is, as always, going to be a link down in the description box below in case you want to stitch this for yourself. I have seen the first modified piece now. Last year, Stuart had this big Letters from Hogwarts Harry Potter themed stitch along, and a lot of people did a lot of modifications. I have not seen a whole lot of modifications on the Animal Crossing one, but one person just posted hers, and yeah, it reinforced my idea I had when I stitched the frame. For a little while, I was thinking about adjusting the beaches and stuff to look like my island, because my island is a little bit different. As in that I have my airport here where this river mouth is. My river mouth is over here where the airport is. My thing. I've forgotten the word for this. It's down here where the stone is. I do not have a river mouth here. I have one over here. And the peninsula is actually correct, and then I have some stones, I think, up here somewhere and here. So it looks a little bit different, but I was thinking about adjusting it to fit my eyelet, and then the dog, Jim. But then I decided against it, and now I saw the first person doing it, and I'm kind of regretting it. I mean, she modded it quite a bit. Hers looks like this whole thing, the whole map is on a big switch. She added the switch controllers at the side and made it a screen and stuff. She put the Animal Crossing sign, which is in the center up here, more to the right, and then her main character next to it. And she also put some of the other NPCs like Pascal and who swims in the water, and then she put some air balloons, and she filled in, she made the boxes full coverage, and it looks really brilliant. I applaud all this creativity. I think she said that she only works on this one cross-stitch project this year, so I guess she had a lot of time and thought put into it. Something's not right over here at Tom Nook. I have to check that out later. But anyway, I am stitching it like it is charted mostly. I am using a 28 count Quaker cloth from Hand Dyed by Rolanda on Etsy, and I'm stitching with all of the called for flosses. I made some slight changes. I think I never talked about changing the river color. I actually made it darker than it was supposed to be because I chose a blue fabric, and the blue that was supposed to go for the rivers blended in a little bit too much, so I actually did a blend of a darker and a lighter blue. And as you might know, because I keep talking about it, for most of my backstitch, not all of it, I switched from the 2 strands to 1 strand. There are just some things that will look too bulky for my taste with 2 strands, but I, for example, went with the 2 strands. If we look at Flick and his leather vest, I went with 2 strands on the white because the white tends to get lost. I also went with 2 strands on his eye there, even though you can barely see it because it's just a tiny bit of backstitching. Yeah. The one thing I have to say, I enjoy this piece very much, but I think with the backstitching, Stuart doesn't always choose the best color option. I know I changed the backstitch on the fossil here already, and it still looks very light. I already chose a darker color than I was supposed to use, and it still looks very light. So sometimes I think he doesn't choose the best options, but still, it is amazing the pattern he makes and hands out for free, just giving you an option to buy him a coffee or something like that. It is just mind-blowing, and I'm very, very grateful for that, because this stitch, while I complain every single month about the fractional stitches he warned about in his initial post, I enjoy working on this a lot. So I always look forward to it. I hope that next month I won't procrastinate as much as I did this month, but procrastinating actually is my superpower, so we are not going to speculate if I will be better next month. So that's the Animal Crossing. Then we had another part of the Our Forest Alice in Wonderland stitch along. Speaking of amazing free stitch alongs, this is another one. And let's unroll this because it is already very big. So can we get this mostly in at least? Yes, we can. Some of it is missing down here, but I will move it up in a moment. So this is the Our Forest Alice in Wonderland stitch along. It is also a free stitch along. Every 2 weeks we have a pattern drop, and the most recent one is this one here, going from underneath the shelf, the key included under the jars. This was the drop, not too big, and and very fun to stitch, I have to say. I made a couple of changes I talked about in my last video. So for example, I switched Alice over, that was the previous drop, and I switched Alice over from having green eyes to blue eyes. I just prefer the blue eyes. The green looked strange to me. And I also spoke about filling in this third jar down here, the one with the green in it that was originally empty, and I just didn't like the look of that. So I have filled this in with the light green, which has not been used a whole lot yet. So I don't know how much more there will be of it, but I decided I would like to have another little bit of this bright apple green. So I used that one. And then for the new part, I made one change. I switched out this yellowy color you can see here in the tag and in the bottle for golden treasure braid to make the key gold. You might remember that I did the same thing for the watch and for his buttons, and I wanted to incorporate a little bit of gold in some places. So initially I also thought about changing these yellow hinges, decorations, keyholes, whatever this is supposed to be, from the yellow color to the gold, and I might actually go back and do that because I find that this doesn't stand out. This door is, well, it looks a bit better on camera than it looks in the plain light, but this door is charted in this gorgeous green to purple to gray color, which I admired so much upon unboxing of the floss for this. And it is beautiful, but it is so variegated that the equally variegated and rather lightish yellow brownish color gets lost. So I'm thinking about doing these in the gold as well. It's only like 30 stitches, I think, so it's not too painful to pull that out again. Let's say it that way. But yeah, this was once again very much fun to stitch. One element I am not so super fond of is these little gloves down here. I don't know, I might not keep them. I have to see how this piece develops before I make a decision. But yeah, I guess now the challenge is up to find something that would make sense to replace with gold from now on. As you see, it doesn't have to be every part. I didn't replace anything in this drop here with the gold thread, but this key was so center and made so much sense that I didn't even think about it. I just saw it and thought, yep, that's going to be gold. And it looks fantastic. So yeah, next drop of this is going to be this Friday. So I just barely caught up with it. Kind of looking forward to where it's going now, if they are going to keep going down or whatever. I shall see. This is a lot of fun to stitch. You know, I'm a huge Owl Forest fan, so this is very, very much fun for me, and I'm glad that this is going to go on for a little while. I'm stitching this on a 32 count vintage country mocha linen. This is the called for fabric. I did not buy it from Owl Forest because I can get Zweigart linen very easily here in Germany. I mean, I should. It is produced here in Germany. It would be ridiculous if I couldn't get it. Not that this hasn't happened before. As you can see, I bought this pre-cut piece. It is also not serged, but I'm living on the edge. I have not done anything with it, so I hope it's not going to fray, but so far we are good. But it's just barely fitting the piece, so yeah, living on the edge. I've spoken to one of my friends, my crafty BFF, like I like to call her. She is someone here in Germany I've known for over 10 years now. And we have only met once in real life, but we've been online friends for, yeah, it's actually 12 years. Geez, the time is flying. And she actually is quite the proficient seamstress. And I asked her, because I can't sew a straight line for the life of me, so I can't even make pillowcases, which she once told me is the easiest thing to start with, and I trusted her and failed horribly. But I asked her if she would be happy to turn some of my cross-stitch pieces into maybe decorated pillows, because I've been thinking about that, and I think this would be a piece that would be very good as a decorative pillow. And I think in that case it is not so bad that I don't have a whole lot of fabric edge around it. So this is like maybe 1.5 inches here. Maybe it's 2 inches, I'm not entirely sure. I have not measured it. Should we measure it? It's not going to be 2 inches. Yeah, 1.75 inches. So yeah, I think that would make a great pillow. I mean, I have to put it somewhere where the kitties can't get to it, because they would destroy it within 5 minutes, but still have until February to think about it, because I should have started with this, or should have led with this information. She said yes, so yay. We were actually talking about birthday presents, and that we didn't really have a wish list at the moment. We used to have these crafty wish lists and would give each other stuff from this crafty wish list, because we had all these crafty hobbies. And we are in the same boat right now, that we don't really have a wish list. We have everything we want right now. So instead of just exchanging stupid coupons now, gift cards, I asked her if she would be happy to be my sewing service, basically, because that is something I can't do and I would appreciate very much. So yep, glad about that. One of these days I actually have to learn how to use a sewing machine, but that's a goal for another year. 2021 is not the year. I still have to get into my crafty goal of 2021 and try to draw a bit more. I have not really gotten into that. So, and last but not least, on Friday was the 25th, and the 25th is the day that the Cozy Cafe drops. I forgot to talk about the thread. The Alice, it is free, but you can purchase hand-dyed floss from Owl Forest that they have selected especially for this, but they also provide a DMC conversion. So I am stitching with the Owl Forest floss, but if you do not want to buy floss from Russia, you can also use the DMC conversion. So now that is complete. And this is the Cozy Cafe, stitched along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. We had part 4 coming out on Friday, which was the strawberry lemonade. So we are moving down now to the bottom part. This fabric is very wonky on the frame. This is, I love Picture This Plus fabric, but the fabric is always so wonky that I never get it straight on my frame. So this is horrible to look at. I'm sorry. I swear this is stitched straight, but the fabric just isn't straight on the frame and pulls in all directions. Believe me, it drives me crazy as well. So this fabric is 28 count opal linen by Pictures Plus. Like I said, this is the called for linen. I'm stitching with all the called for floss, and I also have the beads. I'm just not using them right now. I will do the beading at the end. Looking at it, I think I could bead the top part, because this is as far as I need to go down, and so far the beads would not be crushed by the scrolls. But I am not entirely sure if I could already bead the bottom part, because this is, when I have to go back up, I think I have to roll over this part. So I'm leaving out the beads right now. There are not so many that it's going to take me ages once this is done. And I can open up the frame a little bit. As you can see, I'm not using the full width. I have one more hole to go on the top and on the bottom. I just prefer to have it a bit narrower, because then it's easier for me to stitch. I will open it up once it is all stitched and the beading starts. Shouldn't be that big of an issue. But the strawberry lemonade is a bit of a change up in color, because we are finally using some of the yellows, and that was also fun to do, because so far we have mostly stitched with neutrals, pinks, reds and blues. So the yellow was a nice touch. I don't use yellow very often, so that was fun. All the gaps you see in the glass are for the beads. I am not stitching underneath the beads. So the way this is charted, and I don't know if they mean it this way, but I've seen people stitch it that way. So they fully charted and then they have the beads outlined on the pattern. And I don't think that the pattern instructions tell you to not stitch where you want to put a bead. I would always recommend not to stitch underneath the bead, because the bead will fill in this little gap perfectly on the 28 count. If you are going smaller and using a 32 count, it will fit it absolutely perfectly. There's no issue with that. So no fabric will show underneath, and I would not recommend putting floss under it because that makes it extra bulky, at least in my opinion. But that might just be me. So yeah, so that's the stitching so far, beading at the end. And I actually finished, I think yesterday, 10:15, so I was actually a bit faster than I thought I would be, but believe me, it was once again crazy pants. Today I haven't had a headache, and I'm not entirely sure if I have this headache because of the weather. It is not even 6 o'clock right now, and it's getting really dark outside, which means I have to jump up and save my laundry in a moment here, because this looks like a thunderstorm. But yeah, the atmospheric pressure might be what causes my headache. Or the fact that I've been sitting on my butt all weekend stitching like a crazy person. I am not saying that's not possible, because it's very much possible. So that's what I did in the last 2 weeks, and now the round starts again, because on Thursday is the 1st, so Thursday means Cloudfactory, Planet B, and also the last part, at least what I think the last part of regular stitching for the Dark Queen of the Sea, the rest of her tentacles and stuff. And on Friday the 2nd is going to be the next part of Alice. I think that's part 6 already. And yeah, lots to do. Lots to do until the 14th, when I film the next episode of this. All right, that's plans. Haul. Again, I don't have a whole lot of haul, but what I always seem to have, not for the next one though, because I didn't place another order, are a couple of Owl Forest kits. So this was the latest order I talked about in my last video. I was still waiting for it. It came in the meantime. Of course, Owl Forest, being the mean people they are, they just released last week, I think it was, a set of 3 little snail house pieces. They are just 86 by 86. They are so stinking cute. I want them. I have not ordered them. I'm turning 40 years old this year. I have some restraint, she said. I have not. But yeah, I have to figure out a few things with this new VAT thing, so I am trying not to put in too many international orders if I don't have to. So I ordered 2 kits. One is this Home Sweet Home, I think it's called, and the other one is, this is not the Woodland, this is the other one, the something Meadow, Charmful Meadowland, right. The Woodland one was out of stock, so I'm going to order this another time. But I wanted this one because this is very, very serene. Also, as you can see by the lady in the center, it's about stitching. There is a little cat. I just thought this is a beautiful, yeah, I guess it would be a sampler, right? A beautiful sampler, and I don't have anything like this yet. So why not go with Owl Forest, because they seem to be able to charm me all the time. So let's have a look, because I have, of course, not opened these yet. And both of them are just regular stitches, so no more special stitch for now. Ooh, I already see a very, very nice yellow. I'm kind of sad that this isn't the yellow in the Alice in Wonderland stitch, because the yellow that's in there, the jonquil, that is very dull. And I'm not overly enjoying it, as far as, you know, I'm a bright color girl. So this one speaks to me much more. This has very bright colors overall. I dig it. I mean, of course not the brown, but even the brown is very bright for a brown. Very pretty. So we have the instruction sheet that we always have. I have talked about this. This explains a little bit about stitching with variegated floss and how to get which effect with them. I will be honest with you, I've never read it. I'm just stitching. You get a needle minder with every kit, and these are strong. They are super strong. I really like them. You might have seen on my Alice in Wonderland, I had a needle minder on there with 3 needles on it. I have always multiple needles going in case I want to keep a thread on one needle. Also with the fractional stitches, I need a second needle to get them to lay how I want them to lay. So I am absolutely fond of needle minders that are strong enough to hold multiple of those. This rose is very pretty. We have a giant chart. Going to look at that in a moment. We have this piece of butter yellow linen. I think this is going to be a 32 count, isn't it? Yeah, it is a 32 count. It's always going to be Zweigart. There are only a few kits that use a different linen, but I have forgotten what the name of that is. Might actually be a Russian brand, I'm not entirely sure, but there are only a few kits that use it. The majority of them use Zweigart. Sometimes even weave, but most of the time linen. And if you purchase these kits, you have to be a bit careful because they call both linen. And if you see 32 count Murano, yeah, Murano, that's going to be Lugana even weave. That is not linen. In case you do not like stitching on even weave like me, for example, that's important to know. Belfast is the name of the 32 count linen, so this is always going to be linen. If you read Belfast or Cashel or Edinburgh or Newcastle, that's always going to be linen. That is the name that Zweigart gives their linen. It also tells you which count it is. So Cashel is 28, Belfast is 32, Edinburgh is 36, and Newcastle is 40 count linen. So easy to distinguish. As for the even weave, I only remember that 32 count is Murano and 28 is Brittany. Brittany. It's Brittany, bitch. So just a little lecture in how to do I distinguish these fabrics if a site calls it all linen. Because even weave is only partially linen, so it's a mixture, or I think it's not linen at all. I think it's a mixture between cotton and polyester or something like that. That's a bit the one thing in cross-stitching. If you are cross-stitching, you're probably thinking, why is she telling me this? But the fabrics, often we call them linen and even weave, not thinking about the fact that while a Lugana even weave is not a linen can easily be an even weave. Even weave only means that your cross is square. So there is linen that is either the way it's woven, it's not even, so depending on how you place your stitches, your piece is actually going to be elongated or stretched sideways. Those linens usually are like 56, 62 or something. When you see something like that, it means they are not the same in both directions. And when a linen is even and the crosses will come out square, that's when a linen is actually also an even weave. But, like I said, a Lugana is never a linen. Tangent, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is a linen. Always recognizable that it is a bit slubby, that you don't have a perfectly uniform fabric. The tension, the weave in the tension in the weave is not as tight as in Lugana, which is also the reason why I much prefer linen over even weave. The tension in even weave drives me crazy, especially the sound the floss makes when you pull it through. I can't have it. It's like fingernails on a blackboard. For me, same effect. Can't have it. And this is a gorgeous buttery color. It's not the same color that is in the Bayun Cat and her 2 companion pieces, so there's no variegation. It's just one uniform color. I don't know what the name of the color is though. That might be a regular Zweigart color. They just never put it on anything, so I can't tell you. Let's see. Let's pull this. This is so tight. I'm always afraid the way they fold it, if I don't pull gently, that I'm going to rip something in the pattern. So you get always 2 versions of the pattern. One is the all-in-one, and the other one is the sectioned one that you can cut into pieces and just use the pieces. It's a bit easier to handle if you work on a frame like I do. But that being said, I think I am still on the non-sections. Yeah, so here, this is how this looks. This is the sectioned pieces. And you can see it is printed in color on a very high quality paper. So I like this a lot. So this is a big piece. I have to see where the whole legend is to tell you which colors we are using. Or that's the whole legend. I'm being extra blonde today. 5 colors? No, this is just a backstitch. I did see that correct. There seems to be a lot of backstitch in this piece. So where is the rest of it? It always hides. Here it is on the last possible page, of course. So we have this first color here is nude light. This is going to be the skin tone. This brown color here is called caramel, which is very fitting. We have the lush greenery. This is the brighter green here, the lighter green. And we have green stone flower. I don't know if I've ever had this one. The name does not sound familiar. Then we have blue hydrangea. I have never had this one, I know that. We have cherry compote or compote, whatever. This variegated coral color is called Coraline. Then there's supposed to be a copper color. Now they might be very similar. So let's see. This is oh yeah, so these are actually not the same. The bigger one here are the copper, and this smaller one here is the caramel. Yeah, in the camera now I can see it. With my bright lights I cannot see a difference between these 2 colors, but in the camera I can actually see it. Okay, so copper and caramel. Very similar, not the same. And then we have the last color, the bright yellow, is canary. Super fitting. I love this color. It is amazing. I honestly love them all. This color palette makes me so happy. So freaking happy. So this is the first kit. And this Flosstube, which I thought would be like 20 minutes long, is already 34 minutes long. Woman, you need to get faster. Yeah, I know, you're all saying, no, you don't. But yes, I do, because uploading this to YouTube is going to take 4 hours. Not that I have to do anything while this uploads, but it's still going to be super annoying. So, second kit is the Charmful Meadowland. Again, this comes with a 32 count Belfast, so it's a linen. It comes with all the threads, the needle minder, the chart. All you need to work on this. more colors that make me happy, even though it's a little more muted. So, same pamphlet. Oh, forgot to put the needle minder back in this box. We have a windmill needle minder. There it is. Trying to avoid the glare. Then we have this very dirty looking linen. This has a bit of a greenish tinge to it. The camera doesn't show it. It shows it pretty much as a grayish raw linen, but it has a bit of a green going on. A green-gray. And then, of course, all of our colors, many of which we have seen previously. So this is English red. This is probably, this is salt and pepper, and this is the, what is it called? Forest something. This is jonquil. I think it is the same yellow I've been complaining about just a few minutes ago. I think that's the jonquil. I might be mistaken, because I never can remember names. So let's see if I can actually find, this is a pretty big piece. And the pattern is as big as expected for it. Both of them are actually pretty big pieces, so these are quite substantial. Is this where? No. It's not, but I think I can actually show you a pretty good picture of this. And you can see how big this is going to be. This is so cute. This is the companion piece to the wood themed one. Can't remember what it is called right now, because once again, names, me, not friends, never will be friends. It is just a condition. But this is like 150 by probably 3 million stitches. Where is the chart? Ah, come on. Oh, this is painful. Okay, so it is sideways, because why not? We haven't had a challenge in a while. Jeez, I'm mingling my words. So like I said, we have the salt and pepper in the black. We have the, well, now it's going to get interesting. Let's do the colors that are not questionable. We have the Morning Frost in the gray here on the left. We have the royal blue, the same one I have just stitched with in the Allison, which is absolutely beautiful. The variegation is a dream. We have the lavender and the purple here. This one, this could be the Forest Sunset, actually. There's a bit of red mixed in with the green. Let's see, can we... Forest Sunset. Are you the Forest Sunset? Or the pink clover? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Yep, that's the Forest Sunset. It's the leaf symbol. So yeah, this is the pink one, is the pink clover. This red is the English red, like I said. Then the brown is going to be... Is it bogwood? Probably would be easier to just remove those, but I never get them back in as neatly. Because I'm incapable of stuff like that. Star symbol. This is not honey. V? Hazelnut. Yeah, this could be. So the brown is hazelnut. This is the honey. They are stacked. This is my good friend, the jonquil. I'll never know how to pronounce it. This is this the wheat field? This might be the wheat field. This is the young leaves, no question about that. And then we have green oak, oak leaves, and bogwood. So I think this is the bogwood. this should be the darker green, the green oak, and this the oak leaf, but let's check. Second to last is the dark green, green oak, yes. Then we have oak leaf, yes. And bockwood, my guessing game is on par. So, going to show you all the colors again. They are gorgeous, and I, as always, am very much in love with this, and I've shown you parts of the pattern. I am so talented. I am sorry, Owl Forest. No one will be able to stitch it from what you've seen. Yeah, going to put this in later because this is a pain in the butt. All right, so these are the two Owl Forests, and just today, the last Nitka one I had ordered arrived. They, as you might remember if you've been with me for a while, are a Russian shop that has some exclusive kits in collaboration with Barbara Anna. And they release them on a regular basis, and they just released another one on June 11th. And of course, I ordered it. And it is this hot air balloon one, which goes quite well. It's also called balloons, just plain and simple. Goes quite well with the mystery stitch along she is doing right now. So Nitka is the shop she has this collaboration with, where she releases full kits, and the patterns are only available as printed patterns. And then there is Creative Poppies, which is a shop in France. With them she has stitch-alongs. Pretty much all year long she releases one mystery stitch-along after the other. They are usually like 4 to 5 to 6 pieces long, except for the Santa's Ride one I did last year. That was a bit more substantial. And these sometimes collaborate with each other, so they actually fit together quite well. And this is one that is going to fit. It's not exactly the same, but this is a hot air balloon one, and the mystery stitcher one she is doing right now is, I think it's called Up in the Air. And there's also balloons, there's birds, there's something that looks suspiciously like Mary Poppins. So they should go quite well together. And I'm purchasing all of the ones she has released with Creative Poppy this year. I just have not stitched any of them yet because I'm overloaded with stitch-alongs. So I'm not going to show you the pattern because, like I said, this is a printed pattern and there's no cover page or anything. But I'm going to very quickly share the way this looks. So you get, just like with the Owl Forest, you get your fabric, you get a needle. You do not get a needle minder, but that's okay. You probably are like me and have plenty of those. The fabric is not serged, but in this case it doesn't matter because this is a Lugana, so I'm not going to use it. That's the downside of only being able to purchase a full kit. I think this is the second kit which came with Lugana, and for which I have to replace the fabric. Now I have a substantial stash of fabric, so it's not going to be an issue. I'm just going to pull something out of there. It's just sad that you can't opt out of the fabric because I don't need this. So if I don't give it away to someone one day, this is going to do nothing ever. So. But same with the Owl Forest. There are some kits that come only with Lugana, so that would be the same thing. The floss you get for these pieces is DMC, but they give it to you pre-sorted on these thread drops here and then braided into this braid. The only downside being that, at least for the first couple of patterns, I don't know if they have changed it since, but on these patterns they never tell you the DMC number. So that's a bit of a downside. But if you have a DMC book with the actual thread in it, like this one here, which has samples of the actual thread, not just pictures, you can try and find out at least the closest approximation of this. And if you, I don't know, want to pass the stash or whatever after you've finished it, I don't know if you're a person who stitches something multiple times, but if you want to pass the stash, you can scribble the DMC numbers on the chart and give it to the next person. The chart is black and white, so I would suggest to make a copy of it and work with a working copy, because if you are like me, black and white charts are the devil, so I have to mark them off or I will lose my place instantly. With a color chart, I don't have to mark anything off. My eyes don't get lost on it, but on black and white, no chance. So yeah, working copy it is. And for the, I think the first 100 that ordered, they gave this, oh my god, this is so tiny. They gave it this tiny little bottle. And there's a little message in there, though I doubt that this will come out because it unraveled. But maybe we can make use of our other hobby. Pinch it together, if we can get it better. Yes. See, when hobbies work together. And there's the furry ragdoll assistant. Yeah, hi. There are little Mark Twain quotes in here. Hi, baby, you're late. Just in time to say goodbye. I know you're sleepy. Oh, and you had a snack. Smells delicious. So there were for the first 100, I think they put these little bottles in with the Mark Twain quotes. It's so tiny. The older I get, the more clearly I remember things that never happened. Isn't that true? I've just been talking with one of my coworkers about how I am no longer sure what I actually remember and what I just imagine I remember. We've been talking about this, for example, about our grandfathers, because both our grandfathers have been deceased for quite some time. So mine has been gone since 98 and hers has been gone since, I think, 10 years after. Yeah, I think so. But we both agreed that we no longer know what we actually remember and what we just think to remember. So very fitting and very cute. This is so small. I just purchased some of these small bottles to maybe do some scissor fobs or lay down on everything. That's perfect. Or some zipper pulls or stuff like that, but these are so much bigger than this one. And I already thought they were small. So yeah, this is super cute. And that's all she has. I have not made any big purchases recently. Well, I still managed to drag this out to nearly 50 minutes, so I hope you're happy. This is going to take me ages to upload, so I probably will start uploading this tomorrow morning when I start work. That should give me plenty of time. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I plan to be back on the 15th with the next Flosstube. Let's see, what is the 15th of July actually, date-wise? Should be a Thursday. Yeah, so should work out fine. If everything goes well, tomorrow should be the last day of the month, so that means diamond painting theme of the month wrap up, and on Thursday there should be the new diamond painting theme of the month. And for Friday I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to try another crafty note video, because I should have some stuff ready. I have some stuff half ready, so should work out. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Bye bye.